Glasgow, one of the largest cities in the United Kingdom. Of course, we are in the great country of Scotland with a very deep, long storied history. Lots of beautiful architecture to be found in this city. And we're going to wander around. No particular direction, no particular agenda, and no particular stories today because I came here more on a whim to show you what is called the second city of the United Kingdom, second to London, of course. This is Glasgow. I'm Ariel, this is Urbanus, and let me know where you're watching from. So we're doing take two. There's iffy internet reception here, so pardon the low quality and resolution. Well, it might be low quality and resolution, but it'll be high quality and entertainment. Well, fine. Interesting things to see and do here in Glasgow. Maybe you'll find a Irn-Bru to drink from the great institution of the United Kingdom, which is Greggs. Maybe we'll step into a Marks and Spencer's. Maybe we'll go into Sainsbury's. Or maybe we'll see the beautiful monuments. One of them that has a huge cone on their head. Who knows what we're up to? I'm Ariel, this is Urbanus. Let me know where you're watching from. Let's continue walking through Glasgow. So right now we're on one of the main thoroughfares, and pardon the pronunciation for this one. I haven't encountered this word ever before. Sauchehall? Maybe it's derived from Gaelic. Sauchehall. And this is where we are right now. There's a lot to see in Glasgow. I'm gonna stick to the city center. It's a lot of cool historic architecture there. A lot of stuff that is reminiscent of old New York as well. I tried to start over here, but that did not work. So we're gonna walk on the main thoroughfare and then make our way around the city. Hey Susan, nice to see you here. Sauchehall. Says Sharon. Okay, thank you so much. Hall. That is such a weird. Weird because, you know, it's I don't mean any offense. I mean, it's a language that I barely encounter, which is Gaelic. And Gaelic is very different from the Latin languages and the Germanic languages. So sometimes the pronunciations are very kind of funny to me. Looks like a classier downtown Brooklyn, says Susie. It does. I tried going here earlier, Macintosh at the Willow. So one of the more famous designers that is a Glaswegian, a man who's from Glasgow, was Macintosh. He had this kind of Art Nouveau style, popularized it in this part of the world because Art Nouveau, of course, was very popular. So Janice and a few other people who might be Irish or Irish descent said that it's Gaelic. You know, the thing is, in Ireland, it's pronounced Gaelic. Same thing in many parts of the US, we know it as Gaelic. But I've heard it many times here being pronounced as Gaelic, Scots Gaelic. So yeah, that's why I'm using the word Gaelic rather than Gaelic. It's the same word. It's just pronounced slightly differently. And some Gaelic words are pronounced differently from the Irish Gaelic. It's the same language, just minor differences and minor pronunciation differences. Here we have something really cool. Let me know. Timey-wimey show that is known as Doctor Who. Because I think Doctor Who here in Glasgow, which I have not seen as much in London or in Edinburgh or any of the cities I visited in England, there are still police boxes around. The police box is, of course, what is used as the TARDIS in Doctor Who. And this particular police box is a coffee shop. Look at that. Look at that. Wow. Hey, how's it going? I'll have a double espresso, please. Well, can I get it in the cup with the police box? Yeah, that would be great. Thank you. It truly is bigger on the inside. When did you open this up? Last year? Oh, cool. Very cool. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you. Have a good day. So yeah, I ended up getting a coffee from a former police box. So all around the UK, there were these police boxes, which the police was stationed at. Probably only one, most likely. And I assume you can go to that police box and ask for help. And I assume these were used mostly prior to the across homes all around the UK. Similar to New York City, except police box, we just had like a pole where you would call the police directly. We is in New York City, if any. So yeah, very cool. But in the show Doctor Who, the Doctor uses a police box as a time travel machine. And Anne says you did not tip him. Tipping here in the UK is not really normal. You don't really tip. You might leave 10% if you get good service, and usually that's in the restaurant, not really to go in a cafe. You just pay and continue your way. So here is the cool cup. I'm glad that they end up adding a cool cup to it, and it says keep calm and drink coffee. Let me show it to you the other way. Yeah, for all the Scots tuning in, do let me know, confirm, because I'm under the assumption, and I've already talked to a few Scottish people here, that tipping is really not necessary. And people are paid a full wage. So here it says, keep calm. And coolest thing. All right, let's try this out. Cheers. The coffee feels bigger on the inside. I'm getting hints of timey-wimey. As I'm drinking this, my brain is saying caffeinate, caffeinate, very loudly, like the Daleks. So that's now. But in all seriousness, it's good coffee. It's kind of your more run-of-the-mill coffee. It's pretty strong, pretty bitter. So it's a very nice, strong cup of coffee, kind of classic that you would get in most places, I think, that are fast casual. So yeah, pretty good coffee. I love the cup though. I wish I could bring the cup for souvenir, but it's hard to bring these cups for souvenir. So yeah, there we go. Let me know, who's your favorite doctor? Someone earlier said you have to get a good snack at Greg's. Oh yes, Greg's might be featured. I think this is the city for Greg's. If people don't know, Greg's is like a 7-Eleven type of place here in the United Kingdom. What do you have for breakfast here in Scotland? I tried to post a video on Facebook. I've been having issues with Facebook this morning, not sure why. But do go on TikTok. I have breakfast, but it was made completely vegan. Is the coffee good enough for a lord, says Becky? I would say if I had royal subjects that were a barista, this would not pass the test. But my domain isn't in the great city of Glasgow, so it gets a pass. Rather than TJ Maxx, it's TK Maxx. Rather than Hallmark, it's Primark. Rather than two boots, it's just boots. Elizabeth says, Greg's is where you could get Scotch pie and the sausage roll. I haven't tried a Scotch pie yet. And here we go, we got the institution that is Marks and Spencer's. So everyone, as I mentioned yesterday, a very kind urbanist, Lorene, Lady Lorene of Hawaii, bought me a 1 square Scotland in the Highlands. And because I own that 1 square foot, it's a very huge, spacious, officially a lord. I have a certificate saying that I'm an official lord in Glencoe. So, as long as we are in the great country of Scotland, you have to refer to me as Lord Ariel. It is comply, serious, dire consequences will be carried out. Let's continue on. Sorry everyone, sorry for not updating Nightbot. The weather here is about 49 degrees Fahrenheit, cloudy skies. The time is going to be the same time. All of Great Britain is on the same time zone. The United Kingdom, of course, is bigger than just the island of Britain and Northern Ireland. But when I say the United Kingdom, just assume that I'm just talking about this area of the country, just the island. Rosemary says, I'm not bowing down. Don't worry, no bows are necessary. Just I require just the title. It is Waterstones. This is like the Barnes and Nobles of the United Kingdom. And since we're in the thoroughfare, we also see a lot of pigeons. This is the McBobber clan. That hail from Scotland, the McBobbers. They're McBobbers. They battle with the Cambobs. It was the Cambobs versus the McBobbers. Very fierce battle, has lasted for centuries. Is Scotland less expensive than Ireland? That's a good question. I would say Scotland is still pretty damn expensive. I would put it on cheaper than than London, but I think still on par with Ireland. They're both very expensive countries. The cool thing about Scotland, cheap food as well, too. Here's the Forbidden Planet, which is a famous comic book store that's also in New York City. They also have one in London and Soho. And now we gotta look up at the architecture because there's beautiful architecture all throughout. Glasgow was a very important trading city, hub, mainly in the 1700s, 1800s, 1900s. Especially after the unification of Scotland with England and Wales, it became a massive, massive trading hub for the northern part of the United Kingdom, especially along the River Clyde, which we might catch a peek as we go forward. Now we have lads. These are lads in the wild. In the wild. If you don't know, a lad is basically the UK equivalent of a bro. Janet, thank you for the chat. I appreciate you for the $20 super chat. Everyone, a huge round of hearts for Janet. Thank you for taking us with you on your travels. My pleasure. Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you. Antonio, saludos de México. Qué bienvenidos para todos los hispanos. Lo agradezco que ves estos videos aquí en Escocia. Puedes preguntarme cualquier cosa que quieres en español. Dígame de dónde tú estás viendo. Yo sé que tengo muchos mexicanos, españoles. Aquí en Escocia yo ya he visto varios hispanos. Por ejemplo, de comida de padilladas, de bistec y arroz. So, out there as well, the Spanish speakers. I'm surprised to have seen quite a few Latin Americans here, and only one that was selling Argentine steaks and grilled meats. Hey, Diego de Buenos Aires, bienvenidos. So we're going to start seeing the street art here. Street art is all around Glasgow. As I mentioned, I didn't have time to research too much about Glasgow. So if people know who the main artist is of the street art, this is a very particular style. Wendy says, have you met a Scottish wife yet? Alas, yet.
Let's repent. Let's repent and give our life to Jesus.
Here we have the cam bobs. There are on the other side of the McBobbies. Veronica, is this considered outdoor? In the United Kingdom, you would call these high streets. Sometimes there's a street that's went to one of them. Yeah, very iffy service here. Bear with me. It's for a oh. Yeah, hold on, everyone. Some minor turbulence here in Glasgow. For anyone wondering, if you're a local, you're saying, I never had so many problems like you are having. Live streaming is different from casually using your phone. Live streaming both is uploading and downloading at the same time. And whilst there are many countries around the world where it's easy to live stream because the upload rates are as high as the download rates, some countries limit the upload rates. It seems like certain parts and certain antennas in the UK limit the upload rates, and it tends to be in the bigger cities. I think I'm getting that impression. The statue is a meeting point, says B. Chris. Oh, cool, B. Chris. That's awesome. It's beautiful, yeah. Beautiful. Wow. Who is this guy? Let me know. Singing amazingly. Very talented. Yeah, very nice voice. JA says, is there music? Yeah. We have Susie and Gary tuning in. Two amazing Scots urbanists as well. Mega urbanists are people who contribute $20 or more via monthly via YouTube or patreon.com/urbanist. So thank you so much for tuning in. And I met them yesterday and they were lovely. And we had an amazing, excuse me, we had an amazing meal, which was really cool. And mall, but the mall had a really high quality food hall called Bonnie and Wild. So everyone give a round of hearts to Gary and Susie. There's multiple Susies. I'm talking about the Susie from Scotland. Here they are. I met them up yesterday. And Gary and Susie told me some. Maybe we'll touch upon them as we continue walking around. Hey, Paul recommends going to a pub called the Hootenanny. Cracking atmosphere. Ooh, great. Thank you so much for the recommendation. The Hootenanny. I'll keep that in mind. Here's the Buchanan Galleries. Ooh, here we have the mall. And there's a Greg's inside. That's awesome. A lot of people are asking about the kilts. Who knows? Maybe there'll be a kilt. Depends if the wind blows in the right way. If it blows in the wrong way, then yeah, this is going to be a very different show. Wendy says, "Can we shop pretty, please?" All right, we'll go into Victoria's Secret. Hey, Inspire Life says, nice hustle and bustle to the city. So yeah, someone earlier asked me, how does this compare to either other UK cities or to New York? To me, this vibe feels way closer to New York than London does to New York. I really love the vibes here in Glasgow. Immediately when walking in, just off the train station, which we're going to pass at some point, a lot of people out and about. You see diverse people, people from all around the world. A lot of young people as well. It's a pretty young city. It's a very vibrant city. It should be the third biggest in the UK, if I'm correct. The metropolitan area should have around 1 million plus people or more. Because I think if you include the suburbs, it starts going to 1.5, 1.6, 1.7 million. And the Arcade is very reminiscent of old New York, as I mentioned earlier. New York, and as I mentioned with Edinburgh, same thing. If you're filming 1800s New York, mid-1800s New York, they sometimes come over here. So if anyone can find out exactly the films and the TV shows made here, do let us know. And Edinburgh is a stand-in for New York a little bit earlier than that. Oh, we have a Greg's right down there. Shall we go and venture into the great British institution that is Greg's? Let me know. Oh, there's another Forbidden Planet here, another comic book store. That's cool. There's a tartan house. We can get all the tartans. Not tartan. Julio says, I just walked past you. Hey, Julio, that's cool. You're a Glaswegian. That's cool. Or you're based in Glasgow. Thank you. Julio, are you Italian? Either currently or by descent? Let me know. Because I've noticed there was a lot of Italians here in Glasgow. A lot of Italian restaurants. Apparently there was a significant Italian immigration here. All right, let's go into Greg's. I don't think there's commercial music playing in there. I don't think so. No, there isn't. Good. Okay. These are pretty warm. Oh, there we go. We got a cold one right here. Oh, sorry, I was muted because I had to turn off the audio. They were playing popular reggaeton music. So, as I was saying, the woman was wearing a mask, and I heard £10.40, and I joked around and said, "Oh wow, does this come with whiskey?" And she was like, "No, it's £2.40." So no whiskey in this Irn-Bru. But let me find a quiet place that I can try this Irn-Bru and sausage roll. Bear with me for a second. Sarah, did you just go to Greg's? I did just go to Greg's. Greg's, this has been recommended by Gary. Thank you, Gary, for the recommendation. Susan says it would have been good with whiskey. maybe. Let's try it out on its own first. Just gotta find a little bit of a quieter street. So look at this. This, for me, this reminds me a lot of New York City. I mean, this building, of course, you wouldn't see too often in New York City. We're in Chelsea. You get a little bit of New York vibes here. Stop by the famous Scottish restaurant, JF says, called McDonald's. There is probably no doubt that there are actual McDonald's. A Scottish restaurant. All right.
Okay.
love that drink. And so, system, the New York City in the mid 1800s. But the difference is that they have alleyways. Wendy says, "Am I freezing?" Oh, it's mildly cold, not extremely cold. We could get some. Here I have now. Marina says, "I'm giggling." It wasn't me. There was a group of women that surrounded me and started waving towards the camera, but you couldn't see it because it was buffering. A group of Scottish lasses. Wendy says, "I'm dizzy." Yeah. Okay, I think I found my little bit quieter place. Yeah, I got surrounded by a gang of Scottish lasses, and they were giggling and saying hello to the camera. But I did not really say anything because I was concentrating getting back to cell phone reception. Let me know if and I'll do the Irn-Bru tasting here. Let me know. Especially in the big city, which I don't know too well, of course. I can't be too willy-nilly with, as they would say in America, with leaving my camera on a tripod in the middle of a very busy street. Either. So that's why sometimes it might take me a little bit longer to try to find a spot where I can kind of just calmly put the camera down. Here, it's the entrance to some type of building. So I'm here kind of in a corner and not in the middle of a busy street. Susie says, where are you staying? Well, stay tuned. I always cover the places to stay at the end when I stay there. Let's stay there, so stay tuned. Let me know if you're able to see me and hear me correctly. There is a double-decker bus. This is nice. Ooh, I think the lag, is it really that bad? I think people are watching delayed. So everyone, press that live on YouTube. Press the live button. On Facebook, I think everyone's watching live right now, but press that live button. So I think people are watching behind. Xfire Light says, we can see you and hear you well. Okay, great. Awesome. So we're going to try an Irn-Bru, which in America, or at least in my part of America, New York City, we call this soda. Some places in other America, like in the Midwest, they would call this pop. This drink, or any type of drink, maybe Coca-Cola, Sprite, is actually called fizzy drink. Fizzy drink. So we're going to have a fizzy drink here. Irn-Bru, which is an official drink 100 years old, more than 100 years old, started in the early 1900s. Irn-Bru is such an institution for the Scots that they have their own tartan. Irn-Bru has their own orange and blue tartan. It's been the secret recipe since 1901. Jan says, don't shake it. So let's try it out. I'm a little bit nervous, to be honest. I artificial flavoring drinks, unless if it's a good Coca-Cola. But great thing about Coca-Cola is usually it has cola in it. So let's see how it is. And I got myself a nice and warm sausage roll. So let's try it out, as recommended by Gary, who tunes in. So I'm gonna take a bite of the sausage roll first before I dip into that Irn-Bru. Here is the sausage. Classic British sausage roll, Greggs, basically the 7-Eleven of Britain. The thing is, 7-Eleven has a bad reputation in the US. It's not really the best quality food. I think this is maybe a little bit better quality than a normal American 7-Eleven. Try this out. Mmm. Oh, wow. Oh, yeah. That's a good sausage roll. Definitely not as bad as a 7-Eleven could be in the US. I haven't tried 7-Elevens in Japan yet, so I can't wait to do that at one point in the near future. But roll, it's much greasier than your normal sausage roll. A cafe or a bakery, at least in many parts in the UK. It's a bit greasier. The pork inside is very good, and it is very good breading. Nice amount of pork. Mmm. Really good quality. Wow. Has a little bit of spicy kick to it, which is nice. Really well done sausage roll, I think. Good for a fast food chain. So I'm gonna put this away. Valerie says need to try a Scotch pie. So Valerie, I tried to do a Scotch pie, and they were sold out at that particular Greg's. Zulinda, is it spicy? It's not spicy. It just has a nice small kick to it. It's more like a black peppery kick to it. That's it. All right, everyone. Let me know if you still hear me and see me correctly. It is the Irn-Bru. Valerie, yep. It's a little peppery kick. That's it. Oh, I think that those were the gang of lasses that were. Those were the gang of lasses that surrounded me earlier, and I think they're having a stag night. Wait, is it stag? Stag is men. A hen night, I think. That's why they're having a hen night. So stags is like a bachelor party. Bachelorette party. All right, Irn-Bru might explode on me. Let's try it out. Woo! Oh my! Oh! Whew! That smells like some type of chemical compound. You know, chloroform was invented in Scotland. I don't know, I'm just saying. Chloroform was also invented in Scotland. I'm not intoning anything, just pointing out the two distinct inventions that were made here. Irn-Bru and chloroform. Ooh, there's a little bit of the fake orange smell to it. So it has a little bit of that synthetic orange. Kind of like a strawberry, synthetic strawberry. Flintstones vitamin orange. That's the smell. Let's try it out. Ooh. Oh wow. Well, it might smell like a chemical leak at a huge plant. It is very fizzy. And it tastes like a chemical leak at a massive plant. But in a good way. It's like the moments before, and it actually feels a bit good before smelling the gas leak. You're like, I'm about to die. Yeah, I'm about to get poisoned, and that's how fizzy. I like it. It's definitely all artificial. I don't think there's any real components in here. It's carbonated water. It's acid right there. So acid is the second ingredient. Anominium ferric citrate. So a citric compound. Sweeteners. That's why I'm getting. So I'm getting a little bit of an aftertaste of an artificial sweetener. That's why. This might give me a headache because artificial sweeteners give me a headache. But it is interesting. It is interesting. It tastes like a good icy. In New York, we would usually have those small little ice drinks. Those juice drinks that are tiny. They're like they used to be 25 cents. Let me know if you remember them. In Queens, at least, I think most parts of New York, they were very popular. It tastes like that. Yeah, basically the orange version of that. Yeah. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Irn-Bru. Get the fortified spirits of a true Scotsman. Now let's continue walking around. That's enough Irn-Bru for me. I want to congratulate Gary for the nice recommendation. Thank you so much, Gary, for the nice recommendation. I would recommend the sausage roll if you are in a pinch, as they would say in Britain, and want to pop in to a Greg's and you're feeling a little rather peckish, then grab yourself a sausage roll at Greg's. Let's continue walking around, shall we? It will clean out in the loo. It will clean the loo. Well, there's a public loo here. Oh, sorry about that. Looks like a great way to detox a diet. So yes, if you were in a diet and want to like completely ruin it, then yes, this is a great way. I can see the allure. I can taste the allure of Irn-Bru. It's meant for the true Scots person. Here is a map of the old Glasgow. I still taste it. I don't think that will combine well with whiskey, to be honest, ladies and gentlemen. Might not be the best whiskey combo. I hear music. Let's check it out. Vodka and Irn-Bru is quite popular. That sounds a little bit more appealing. Yeah, vodka and Irn-Bru. Oh, these guys. Let's see. Chris says this looks like a great busker area. Yep. Here we have another police box. This police box sells CBD. And look at these guys. They're really rocking it. I love that. I love this type of music. My favorite. If anyone has ever listened to a band called Fanfare Siracala, do remind me how to pronounce it. But it's a great, great band that does gypsy dance music. So I love it. Ooh, Look at the beautiful views. Oh, the song. How does Glasgow compare to Edinburgh? Great question. Glasgow has a higher energy than Edinburgh. Edinburgh is an old historic city. Kind of feels frozen in time, at least the old town. I haven't been too much through the new town. Glasgow has more of a energy akin to New York. And it's a younger city, so it also feels a little bit like Dublin as well, because the city is much younger. Valerie says, friendlier city. Here, people tend to be a little bit more extroverted than Edinburgh. Of Scotland, the magic. When you think of Scotland and shows like Outlander and Braveheart and so many other films that take place in Scotland, Edinburgh's the place. This is more kind of a modern city. The city must look beautiful at night. I can imagine, yeah. I love cities more like this. I feel more at home at cities like this because I kind of love the buzzing. Let's check out the street art over here. Old and modern together, yeah. So Glasgow was also pretty hit hard by World War II because it was a place where they were making a lot of ships. It was one of the major trading hubs of the United Kingdom, aside from London. So this was also bombed, and that's why you see a mishmash of old and new architecture here, walking around. Irene says, I like Edinburgh architecture better. Yeah, as I mentioned, Edinburgh has an older look to it. Glasgow's more down to earth. Went to uni in Billy Connolly's home city. Oh, I gotta check out Billy Connolly, famous Scotsman. I gotta check out his stuff. A few things of his in my lifetime, and he seems very funny. Hope it's not too cold, says Maureen. Nope. I'm just very bundled up. Because I do a lot of walking, and just in case there's not that many places to kind of relax and warm up, I come extra bundled. Hello, S Fields. Hello, Myrna and Marina, and we have a lot of people tuning in. Is the castle here or your mansion, says Wendy? My huge estate is in the Highlands in Glencoe. My huge estate of 1 square foot. So a lot of major stores here. We have Fraser's. We have Fraser's, Omega. Here's the high street that we were just passing through. This is a beautifully decorated building here. And here we have a mall that's inside as well. And look at this one called Argyle Arcade. Argyle, one of the famous dukes of Scottish history. I'm not sure if they're referring to that Duke. Let's see if we can actually have service here in the arcade. Let's step in. Full of okay. Reception. Which I don't think is nope, no cell phone reception. It's a little bit of a shame with cell phone reception here because this city, Glasgow, Edinburgh, London, Bath, would be such great cities to go into all, not just the streets themselves, but to go into the churches and the buildings and the arcades and the courts and the closes and everything. There's so much like hidden gems here. I wish I could show it to you on live video, but it is very, very difficult. So that's a grand shame. But if you do have the ability to come to these British cities, and you are not a live streamer like me, do venture around. Do go off the beaten path because you'll find some magical things. So consider doing that. Wendy says, such a shame. Yeah, it is such a shame. Luckily, there's still other cities around the world where I can do that, like Italy, like Rome. Managed to do that. Where I can. Right now, there were some issues. Times when I have to in a row, YouTube thing. No one's gonna see this. No one should see this. This is a spam. No. This is a on Facebook. Facebook is giving big bonuses to people engaging live videos. So double. So stars. Susie says. So let me know. I don't think Glasgow has a underground. But I see only buses thus far. Connery is he's from Edinburgh. This is Glasgow. I think Ewan McGregor might be from Glasgow. As we ones, but let me know. Rain. Try it. Okay, so someone said that Ewan McGregor is actually from Edinburgh. Okay. Craig Ferguson, someone said that was Glaswegian. There is a subway system, so thank you for letting us know. It's called the Clockwork Orange. Someone earlier said that they saw people emerging from it. That is cool. Is it this one right here? I thought that was the symbol for the railway, which is how they say here in the United Kingdom. In the U.S. we would call them railroad. So let me know. Is it this? Is it that symbol? Because in London, that's the railway sign. Railway meaning heavy rail, big rail, commuter rail as well. So B says no, that is rail. Okay, thank you so much. So this is rail, this is not the metro. Valerie says no, it's back where you came from. Okay, thank you for letting us know. B says I passed 2 subway entrances earlier. Okay. Thank you for letting me know. Wonder if the bad reception has something to do with the subway. Ah, yeah. So if we were passing through the metro line, that might be the case, which is usually the case in New York. So hopefully we're moving away from the metro and now we can have more steady cell phone reception. Merchant City to my left. Hey, Guy Tweedy, nice to see you here. Merchant City. Guy Tweedy is asking, do I prefer Glasgow or Edinburgh? Edinburgh is a city filled with history. I like more the energy of Glasgow. So if I were to choose a place to stay for a little bit longer, it would be a Glasgow. But you cannot beat the history of Edinburgh. There's a plaque on this building, yeah. I'm just waiting for the signal. All right. So I spend about 15 pounds to travel between Glasgow and Edinburgh. Two-way trip. Susie says, very diplomatic answer. Indeed. It'll be very difficult to please the Scots because between the Glaswegians and the Edinburghers, each of them don't really think too highly of the other. So, yeah. About the preference of the city. So there we go. It's not, no one's like saying that in England, like for example. I don't think the Londoners have a rivalry with like Manchester or Birmingham or, I don't know, Liverpool. It's not like New York really doesn't have a rivalry with Boston. Maybe with the only exception of the sports, but basically no like real rivalry. So yeah, it's very interesting. All right, we're gonna go this way. I see a very beautiful church, and let's see if I can find St. George's Square. Ooh. Janice is asking where you're the lord of. My 1 square foot of land, very spacious, is Glencoe Highlands. Lots of new construction happening here. Okay, so the Fowl says there is a similar rivalry in England, and that's between Liverpool and Manchester. And that makes sense because they're right next to each other. Glasgow and Edinburgh are only an hour train ride away from each other and less in car. So yeah, there is a difference. I mean, that's why I assume there is a rivalry. Going towards St. George. Thank you so much, Valerie. Okay, thank you for confirming. Ibel says that's because of football. Okay. I don't think Ireland had a rivalry. Do let me know. I don't recall them having that type of fighting between cities. Wow, look at this. Susie says this was disabled parking on the street. Yeah, there's disabled parking on the street, which is nice. Is this accessible? Is the city accessible? I would say it fairly is. There is ramps. Not ramps, but there is I'm not sure what you would call this, but the curb goes down to street level. The pavement seems pretty even, and this is a city that strikes me as being pretty flat in the very center. So it seems to be a bit more accessible than Edinburgh. Welcome. Hey! Bee's Knees, which is Guy Tweedy. Thank you so much. Guy Tweedy is from the great county of York, I think, if I'm correct. So that Bee's Knees. Valerie for its accessibility. Oh, thank you so much for letting us know. Walking Talking Scotsman says that New York based its grid system on Glasgow. Thank you for letting us know. Yeah, I'm very curious about the history of the grid system. If anyone knows a little bit more about it, do let us know. Now, New York was also inspired by Philadelphia because Philadelphia set up a grid system like 30, 40 years prior to New York. New York was 1811. Philly should have been late 1700s. I think before the Revolution, so when the Quakers moved in, which should be like 1750s around there, is when Philly got its grid system. So I think New York was also inspired by Philly. But was Philly inspired by Glasgow? Do let me know. Or do any of the New York planners cite Glasgow as an inspiration? So here we see a monument with a shovel, a stick, a rifle. It says in 1605 to 2005, Glasgow City Council, the Merchant House, and the Trades House. And here it says, jointly by the Glasgow City Council, the Merchants House, and the Trades House. And it was regulated the roles of the organization of merchants, craftsmen, maltmen within the city. This sculpture shows a selection of objects associated with the council. Interesting. So that's why we have all the. That's really cool. That's amazing. Beautiful. Raynette says, how do you go about buying a piece of land here? I think you could literally do it online if I were to ruin the mystique of my lordship. Maureen. Wow, Maureen with the $20. Maureen, very frequent super chat. And Maureen says, enjoy dinner. I will enjoy dinner. And I hope to show all of you some haggis either today or tomorrow. So let's try it out. That's weird. I think there was a man soliciting me, which was very weird. First time I've ever seen that. He just. Can you imagine living here, or is it going to be expensive? That's Adam. I don't think this. I think this would be a little bit cheaper than New York and cheaper than London. But Lauren says he was trying to super chat you. Yeah. Ella says, "Well, you're a cutie." Thank you, Ella. So my apologies to council. Sorry for jaywalking. Go into the farmer's shop. It's a lovely old building. Says, and yeah, I wish I can go more into buildings. Very poor is here. Here's the Italian Center. This is a cool little area. Keenan, nice to see you here. Welcome. Who is this? Is this Mercury? Interesting. So the ancient Romans actually got up here to Glasgow, but they were so afraid by the Picts, which were the northern tribes of Celtic descent, or actually not Celtic descent, of Britons. They were called Britons. They panicked, tried to build a wall called the Antonine Wall, and then just went back down south. It's a gorgeous building. Wow. Look at that. Ibel says lots of Italian immigration to Glasgow. They set up all the fish and chip shops. Yeah, you know, a similar thing happened in London. The Italian Brits set up a lot of the pie and mash shops. So yeah, very interesting history right there. So thank you. That's why there's so much Italian food here. I see a lot of pizza, a lot of pasta places. I even had an Italian espresso earlier. I'll be posting a short video about it. All right. Panavision. A movie's being filmed here. I wonder which one it is. Is it Doctor Who? Is it The Gilded Age? I'm not sure if they filmed here in Glasgow. Oh, they have the Glasgow Airport Express. Cool. There's a lot of bus systems here in Scotland, so it seems easy to travel across Scotland using buses, which is nice. And then there's a lot of buses that head up to the Highlands here, which is very convenient if you want a bus tour. Scotsman. Oh, thank you so much. Fucking talking Scotsman. So Batwoman.
They're the same guys. You can't even fucking.
All right, behold the famous square of Glasgow. Same. Walking Talking Scotsman says World War Z, or as like the Brits like to say, World War Z was filmed over here. Thank you. World War Z was filmed over here. World War Z. ML Sue says yes, it's convenient to travel around Scotland. That's good to hear. That's awesome. Glasgow is Gotham City for movies, says B. Chris. It is perfect for Gotham City. Valerie says Glasgow has the best transportation in Scotland. I laugh because Valerie, are you a Glaswegian? You seem very proud of the city. That's good to hear. When I go to, oh, we got the best of this and we got the best of that. We're going to see a lot of statues of famous Scots, mostly Scotsmen. I'm not sure if there's a Scotswoman here. A lot of like Alexander Graham Bell in a to all those who dedicated their lives Gabriela, nice to see you here. Go to my uni, says ML. Beautiful Art Deco style line. They look Art Deco. Few museums here about Glasgow's industrial history. That's great to hear. I would love to see those. Lovely monuments. This guy in the column, do let us know. There's probably a plaque here. Let's check it out. Becky says, this is Rennie Macintosh architecture. Thank you for letting. These are plaques for something else. The United Nations fight against poverty. There were people here earlier protesting. The events are happening out in Eastern Europe. Sir Walter Scott is here. Sir Walter Scott, ladies and gentlemen. The man as we know it today. TV shows and novels. We can thank the guy who's up here, Sir Walter Scott. Did you make it to the People's Palace, says Elizabeth? I don't think so. Not yet. We got roving gangs of Glaswegian bikers. Hey, Frederick, nice to see you here. Next, come to Vienna and Salzburg. Yeah, I would love to see Vienna and indulge in all the pastries, Viennese pastries. Right here we have what? Terrible service. Not great signal, says Adam. Nope, not great signal at all. But no, there's a whole lot more here. So if you come here very early. If you're taking a day trip from Edinburgh, or if you're venturing here, might be a nice place to stay at least one night. Move away from the light, says Wendy. Yeah, indeed. If you want to lend your support, bonus content is coming a lot out for super urbanists and above. Mega urbanists end up getting access to postcards, which I'm about to send in this post box right down there. Paul says, was the camera head-butted it? A few people have mentioned that before. Is that some type of Glaswegian inside joke? Do let me know. So patreon.com/urbanist is where you can get bonus content. I'll be showing you a small bus ride around Inverness. You'll be seeing a 360 video of St. Giles Cathedral in Edinburgh. And you'll be seeing some bonus extended footage of the Museum of the Churchill War Rooms and the Dennis Sever House Museum. So here are the other postcards I'm about to send out. These are Scottish postcards for new mega urbanists. I'm going to send it over there. Wendy says, slay, please, I beg of you. I might be featuring a dinner at some point, so put on those notifications right now. Slam that notification button. It's the bell button on YouTube, on Facebook right now. Right exclamation point notify, exclamation point notify. Write it down right now. I'll give you a few seconds. If you have any last remaining questions, feel free to ask. Fila, nice to see you here. It was amazing, says Irene. Yeah, it truly was an amazing walk. I'm glad you enjoyed it. That's a lovely afternoon spent. I'm so glad. Weather was okay, 49 degrees Fahrenheit, cloudy skies. Fila says, thank you so much. And thank you for another great live, says Eibel, making my elliptical session less hard work this morning. I'm glad you're using me while you're exercising. Hey, Canarias, gracias por un gran saludo. Y tú quieres contribuir a este programa, puedes ser un Patreon, un super urbanist, patreon.com/urbanist. I'm not sure how to say all that in Spanish. I gotta learn how to say supporters in Spanish. Sharon says, haste ye back, Ariel. Yes, the Scottish farewell is haste ye back. All right, everyone, I'm gonna say goodbye in Gaelic. Slanga fol, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in from Glasgow. Glasgow, Scotland. Slanga fol.